All right, all right, all right. Looks like we are live. We have gone live, everyone. Hello and welcome. My name is Tanya. This is a Comeback Yoga Level 2 class. Comeback Yoga is a nonprofit organization based out of Denver, Colorado, serving veterans, active duty military, and your support team. If you have arrived here and you're looking for a challenge, you are in the right place. So we're here for 45 minutes. You'll need a yoga mat, maybe a blanket, maybe a cushion, and anything else that you like to have for your own practice. So if you don't have any questions, we'll go ahead and get started. As we practice, I will be prompting you to just kind of go at your own pace, do what you can, work with where you are and what you've got, and to always track the sensations as you go along. So, making sure that you feel like you're in a secure location. And if you want to, if you're feeling comfortable, just let those eyes close now. We'll sit here for about a minute just to experience the stillness that comes and the centering that comes before we begin our movement practice. So, if you feel safe in doing so, closing the eyes, noticing the surface beneath you, letting your eyelids be heavy, letting yourself attune and drop into your physical body. Noticing the flow of breath either through your nose or your mouth. Noticing if your breath feels smooth or irregular, deep or shallow. Several more minutes or seconds here. And then letting your next exhale go and opening your eyes if they were closed. So, that 1 minute exercise is just an example to show you how you can draw your attention inward to be able to be more responsive to a situation rather than reacting to a situation. You may notice a lot of things happening outside of you, but what we need to learn is to really acknowledge what's going inside of us as a result of our environment. So, this is just a little tool that you can take anywhere with you, any time of day. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and get our movement practice started. As I said, it's going to be a bit of a challenge today, so do what you can. And if you find at any time you want to take a little break, go ahead and do so. We're going to start on the hands here. First, we're going to drop the forearms to the ground and then pushing into your hands, lift the elbows away from the ground and drop the elbows back down. Lift your elbows back up and drop down and lift up. Elbows down and lift up. Let's do two more. Down and up and down. Okay, coming back up, taking one arm forward, the opposite leg back. And now bring the elbow and knee in and take it back. Bring it in and back. Let's do four more. So waking up our spine, our core. All right, now bringing that hand down, but keep the knee bent and the foot up to the ceiling. Let's take the forearms down and then back up. Let's do four more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, lower your knees down. Move your hips towards the heels for a child's pose. Option to have your arms forward or bent, stretching out the triceps. All right, let's do the other side. First, the arm and leg back. And then bring it in and stretch it. And bring it in and stretch. In, stretch. In, stretch. Last one. Hand down, knee up. Forearms come down and up. For 4, push into your hands. Grip the mat slightly. 3, up. 2, up. And 1. Okay. Lower those knees down. If you want to grab a drink, go ahead and do so. All right. Let's come up to stand on the knees here. Rolling your shoulders back and down. We'll just stretch out the hips and the chest. All right. Now from a kneeling position, come into gate pose. So one leg goes out to the side. You want to have the hip more or less right over the knee here. Your foot can either be flat and forward like a warrior pose, or up and to the ceiling, or straight out, whatever works better on your foot and your ankle. Reach up and over to that straight leg, stretching out. Now you're going to take this top arm, pull it across your chest, and then squeezing the upper back, and then open your arm. Now bring your arm forward, pull this back like you're pulling on a bow and arrow, and then one more, pull it back and open it out. All right, other side. Arm coming across, pull back and open, pull it across, pull to the chest, open, and last one, and open. All right. Last little bit here on our knees, hands under the shoulders, taking one arm out to the side, and then sweep it under, keeping the hips up high, and then come back out. You can bend your bottom arm elbow as your arm goes under. I'll do one more time. Take it up and then under, and let's hold this for about 3 breaths here. You can bring your head to the floor, maybe your arm out in front of you. All right, and then coming up, hands under the shoulders. Let's do the other side. Inhale, exhale, take it under, open it up, take it under. One more time, and then stop and release. Hold this here for 3 more breaths. All right, and then come all the way up and back into child's pose. Maybe your arms go back, maybe your arms are forward. You choose. All right, let's come back up onto the knees. Knees are about hip distance apart, hands onto your back or your hips. Lift your chest up for a low little kneeling camel here. All right, hands down to the ground. Lift those hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Coming to a plank pose. Option to be on the knees. Wiggle those legs back if you need to so that the shoulders end up right over the wrist. Up and back, downward dog. Bring it forward, plank. Downward dog.
Forward to plank and downward dog. Forward to plank and downward dog. Okay, now come onto your forearms for a dolphin. Resting those forearms down. Lift your hips up a little bit higher. Lift the heels. All right, and then bring your knees down to the ground. Child's pose again, stretching out those triceps with the hands coming behind the head. Really opening up your side here. All right, and let's find downward dog again. This time we're going to take one knee to the chest for a high plank. Bring it up nice and tight. Take your leg back up into the air. Now bring that knee across to the opposite elbow. Take it up and back. Bring your knee to the other elbow. Take it up and back. And then switch legs. Bringing the knee to the chest. High plank. Back up. Knee to one elbow. Back up. And knee to the other elbow. And back up. Downward dog. Coming to a plank position. We're going to shift our weight to one side for a side plank. Maybe facing the long edge of your mat. Well, you will be facing the long edge of the mat. Pressing down. Taking your hand down and shift your weight to the other side. Maybe coming flat on the feet or on the outside edge of the foot. And come back to plank. Shift your weight forward, elbows back. Come onto your stomach. Roll your shoulders back. Lift your chest for a cobra pose. Using the strength in the back to hold yourself up. Hover your hands away from the floor an inch or less. And then come all the way down, resting your head on the back of your hands, elbows out wide. Let's take about 3 more breaths here. Just settling in. All right, and press up and back to a downward dog. All right, knee to chest, high plank. Now you're going to take that leg across in the opposite direction. You're going to shift your weight to the side for a fallen triangle. So it's a side plank with the leg out. Bring your hand down, knee comes to chest, and then downward dog. Let's do the other side. Knee comes to the opposite elbow. Take it across, pivot on your back foot, and open for that fallen triangle. Hand comes down, lift the hips up, downward dog. Come to plank, come on down. Lift your chest, take your arms back behind you, lift your legs, locust. Option is to clasp the hands, bring the hands to the back, and then lower down. Rest your head on your hands, maybe turning your head to one side. A little recovery here. All right, turn your head to the other side if you had your head turned. And coming back to center, let's lift up and back, downward dog. All right, let's move on a little bit from the ground here. We're going to step our feet to our hands, coming to a standing forward fold. Rise all the way up to standing, and then full mountain pose, the arms to your sides. Standing up nice and tall, feeling the full length of your body, extending out, broad.
All right. So some warrior poses with triangle. And then we're going to work back down to the ground. So let's take those feet out nice and wide, legs out nice and wide, turning one leg out, opening out those arms. Bend that front knee for a warrior two. Having the shin vertical, no pain in the knee. If you feel pain in the knee, then adjust your stance a little bit. Okay, now straighten out the leg. Reach to a triangle. Hand to the shin, the thigh, or maybe even further down. Take your top arm up overhead. Really reach out through the arms. Stretch down through the legs. Bend that front leg and come to the inside of your leg. Humble warrior. Straighten your leg out as you come around, bringing your toes inward and your heels outward into a standing forward fold. And then let's rise all the way up to standing. We'll do the other side. Leg turns out, arms float out, and bend your knee. Good. Straighten your leg, really pull up and in. Feel the strength in your front, and then reach it. Pressing down through the feet, coming into that triangle. Your variation is not going to look like my variation. Our bodies are built differently. Bend that front leg, come to the inside. Humble warrior. Keeping your back foot flat, your front knee over the ankle. Now walk around, parallel the feet, or even slightly turn them in, and release your head and torso between your legs, looking at the wall behind you, maybe looking at your feet. All right, let's come all the way up to standing, and then bring your feet in. Take a moment, grab a drink if you need, and then we'll move on. Okay. All right, let's repeat that. So, facing the long edge of your mat, legs out nice and wide, turning out. So, what we're going to do is we are going to attempt our fallen triangle from our standing position. So, it's going to be a little bit different than when we approached our fallen triangle from the ground. So, just bear with me. Open those arms out and bend your knee. Okay, straighten your leg. Triangle, just a regular triangle, right? Reaching out nice and long. Reaching those legs downward, pressing those feet into the ground, reaching your arms out. All right, hands to the inside of that front leg. Okay. All right. Now the hands are going to be slightly forward of the shoulders. This front leg, you're going to bring it in and across. And now open up into that fallen triangle. Ta-da! We did it. Okay, hands coming back down where it was. Pull that knee up and in. Woo! And then bring the foot forward. You might need to help it there to bring it back into that humble warrior. Walk your legs around, heels out, toes in, and fold over your legs. All right, let's do it. Other side. I just lost my microphone though. Someone asked me, what's the most challenging thing for you about teaching online? I have to say it's probably my mic. Sometimes it just doesn't want to stay on. Okay. Other side goes out. Open up those arms. Warrior two. Stretch it out. Reach out. Feel the strength in your body. Feel the expansiveness. You're getting it done. Okay. Straighten out your leg. Reach. Triangle. And then tip. Reaching out through the arms, through the legs. Open your whole body up. That's it. All right. Humble warrior. Bending your knee here. Okay. Hands slightly forward of your foot. Okay. The heels of the hand more or less lined up with your toes. Now lift that leg up, bring it across, and lift your top arm. Ta-da! We did it. Okay, this is the harder part. Bring your hand down, bring your knee up and in, then bring your leg around back into that humble position.
And then turn around, coming into your standing forward fold right here. All right, let's come all the way upright. Bring those feet in. All right, folks, we're going to do another round just like that. Practice doesn't always make for perfect, but it does make it better. But while we're here standing, let's just do a little standing mountain, bringing the hands to your back. Option is to clasp your hands and open your chest, maybe lifting up onto the toes, lifting the heels. And then release the arms. Take your arms out. Let's grab opposite shoulders just to stretch out the arms, the shoulders before we do our final round of that warrior sequence with our fallen triangle. Let's wrap the other arms, bringing the hands onto the shoulders or back of the hands. All right, let's do it. Stepping out wide, your warrior width. So you're warmer now. You might feel it's like the sensation's okay in your body to go out a little bit wider, right? So taking it out, maybe even go a little bit lower. I usually do usually by the third round, I usually feel a lot stronger. I also feel more confident and I also feel warmer. So my body's able to do more without as much effort. At some point, though, it does stop, right? Start to get tired. Okay, let's straighten out because I was starting to get tired there. I don't know about you. Okay, take it down for that triangle. Yep, stretch it out. Push down through those feet. Good. All right, humble warrior. Take it to the inside. Hands, so heels of the hands line up with the toe. Lift that leg up, bring it out, and then open your chest, pushing down into that bottom hand for your fallen triangle. And bring it down. Hardest part is now lift that knee up, swing it around, and then come into a standing forward fold. Fold over your legs. Sometimes a little side to side movement, especially over to the opposite leg, because you might have actually used those oblique muscles a little bit. Well, hopefully you did. And we want to open those up. So just walk side to side. Legs stay straight. It's just your upper body moving. All right. And then coming to center. All right. Great. Let's come on upright. We'll do our final side, folks, and then we are working to the ground. Okay, so turning leg out, open arms, and then settle in. Okay. Triangle. Actually, we should hold this a little bit longer because we did the last time because I was talking a lot. And here we're just going to really feel a little bit of fatigue starting coming into the body for 2 more breaths. This is level 2 after all. Okay, here we go. Straighten up and then triangle. Reaching it up and then straighten out. Open your chest. Using your oblique muscles here even. Okay, bending your knee, humble warrior, coming to the inside. Heels of the hands more or less in line with the big foot, the big toe, I mean. Keep your back foot planted. Lift your leg, bring it across, open. Here's your fallen triangle. That's it. Bring it down. Now you really have to pull it up, pull that knee up, pull that knee up, pull that knee up, and around. Help it around. Okay. Standing forward fold, heels out, toes in. We'll do a little side bend over to one leg, and then a side bend to the other leg. And then come back through center. We'll hold this pose in the center here for about 3 breaths. All right. Face the long edge of your mat. Step back. Downward dog. Sorry, the short edge of your mat. One flow here to plank. Two down. All the way down to your stomach. Push up for an upward dog. And then let's come into child's pose, shall we? Stretching out the back, ankles. Let's do a little stretch for the arms here. Clasp your hands, bend your elbows, bringing those hands behind your head. All right, we are going to do pigeon. We're going to do pigeon today. It's either your favorite or it's not. I usually get a lot of people say, oh, pigeon's my favorite. Okay, so let's come from a tabletop position. Bring one leg forward. You can grab the leg and bring it forward. The knee comes to the wrist. Your foot either comes across, opposite of the knee, or it comes back. And then from here, slide back, dropping the hips back and down. Now we'll come forward and down, coming into our pigeon. If this bothers your back knee, then drop the hips back and bend your knee. Still getting a stretch in your outside hip, right? Foot can be close to your hip or out. Knee goes out wide. We'll hold this for about a minute here. Just settling, breathing, receiving. Benefits of this pose include, of course, hip stretches, which a lot of times we hold tension in the hips. We stand a lot. If we do a lot of activities with our lower body, carrying packs, whatever, that tension goes to the hips, right? Last couple of breaths here. All right, let's come on up. Downward facing dog. Stretch that out. And then bring your other knee down, across, coming down into that pigeon of your choice. Again, your pigeon is not going to look like mine because, why? Well, our bodies are built differently. And I've been doing yoga for, oh gosh, close to 40 years. Yes, it's true. Maybe intermittently the first couple of years, but my first yoga class, I would think I was 15 or 16. So there you go. Now you know how old I am. Okay. You can do the quick math. All right, just another little bit here. All right. Let's bring that back leg around. So straighten out both legs, bounce those knees. Point and flex your feet. Okay, let's come into boat pose, holding on to the back of your legs. On your exhalation, roll just where you feel a little bit of core work. Now, from here, activate even more. Tighten up a little bit more. Maybe lift one leg, the other leg. Maybe your legs go out straight. Arms can go out straight.
And then come down to half or full boat. And then lower all the way down. All right. Let's just take those hands behind our head briefly. Elbows are bent. So we're going to open the chest here. All right. Bending your knees, taking one ankle on the opposite knee, and let your knees move to the side. So your top leg, that knee is going to be down on the floor. Okay, so you're going to bring it down and then walk your bottom foot out towards the long edge of your mat. Keep your ankle and knee pressing together and then stretch your arms behind you. Grab your wrist. Press your hips towards the wall. Press your knee, bottom knee, up into the top ankle. Now let's come back together. Bring your knee in. And then place your feet on the floor. Let's do the other side. Ankle to knee. The hips move. The knees move, I should say. Dropping the knee to the floor. Reach your arms back overhead. Grabbing your wrist. Press your ankle and knee together. Or your foot and knee together. Don't let your knee drop so low. You want to have your knee, your top knee, more or less in line with your hip. And then come on back to center. Great. Ankle to knee, briefly, draw it in briefly, and then lower down. All right, let's add a twist here. So straighten one leg, opposite knee comes in, and then twist to the side. Look over your shoulder. Your hand, bottom hand, is supporting that top knee, so you get a little extra traction. Track that though. How does that feel? Is the sensation tolerable? Does it get worse, stronger? Does it decrease? Does it stay the same? Does it feel okay? All right. And then let's do the other side. All right. Come on back to center. Knees to chest. You can rock side to side, back and forth. All right. Place those feet down. Let your knees rest against one another. And we'll just take our arms across the chest for a shoulder stretch. You can grab opposite shoulders or place one hand in the armpit, the other hand around the neck, the shoulders. And switch. All right. And just now kind of massage your upper arms, your forearms, your wrists, and just kind of go back and forth, havening. And then if this feels like a comfortable place to finish your practice, I'll be guiding you through a short relaxation. And you can stay here or maybe be on your side or being upright. You can also find a chair, sit in a chair. So once you're comfortable, see if you can get even just a little bit more comfortable. I'll be here for just about 5 minutes. Maybe you'd like to take a sip of water before you get settled in. And once you get settled in and you feel comfortable, just allow your mind to follow your body, to follow my voice, and that my voice though becomes your voice. So we'll start with calling upon your inner resource. Your inner resource is a place or an activity that really makes you feel at home, at ease, maybe even joyful, where you just sort of lose track of everything other than just being present in that activity or that location. So maybe it's a place in nature. Maybe it's a place in your home. Maybe you just have a favorite activity, whether you've done it recently or been there recently or long time ago. Whatever comes to your memory, whatever comes to your mind. Maybe it's a fabricated place, it's not real. Or maybe it's a fabricated activity, something you've never done or you've never heard of anyone doing. So give yourself permission right now to just recall that, bring that to mind. And then with it, I'd like to invite you to notice. Notice your surroundings. What do you see? What do you hear? Are there any smells or tastes? How are you moving? How are you dressed? And now, as you've made as many details as you can, recall as many details as you're present with. How do you feel in your body? Where do you notice this sensation within your body? Does it live in your stomach and your torso and your hips? Where is it that you notice this sensation, this felt sensation of this activity or this place within your body. This is your inner resource. This is a place that lives inside of you, a place that you can call home, a place where you belong, a place of peace and well being, a place of vitality and life. This is a place that you can always touch base with. So spend some time here for right now, just breathing into it, letting it fill your whole being with this sensation. Maybe there's a color or a temperature or a taste that's associated with it. Several more breaths here just to feel it, let it move, welcome it as it is. And now, as you start to draw your attention back into the room, back to your surroundings, noticing the sounds, blinking your eyes open and closed to notice the light, the colors, or the textures around. And just noticing anything else, anything else. In fact, rubbing your fingers together to notice touch, to bring yourself back to your body, to bring your attention to the present by feeling your shoulders, your elbows, your wrists and hands, moving your feet, your wrists, your head, all of the body parts. And if you feel ready and so called to, come back up to sitting if you're not there already, and just meet me in an upright seated position where we will finish our class together today. So, on behalf of Comeback Yoga, I just want to thank you so much for your presence today and means the world to all of us that you are here, that you are learning resiliency, you're learning ways of responding versus reacting, and that you're just feeling good, right? Body and mind. Even though there may be some days after class you feel like, no, that hurt today. And that's just something to know. Maybe you pushed yourself too hard. Maybe you worked muscles you haven't worked in a while. All of the things. So just feel all the things. And thank you. Thanks again for your presence. And I'll see you next time on the internet. Take care of yourself.